Hey everyone, this is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and welcome back to day number 5 of March Madness. Today's page map sketch comes from November of 2022. I pulled out my Echo Park Magical Birthday Boy collection to document some photos of my mom's birthday from January of this year. When I purchased this collection, I also did purchase the solid paper, so I am going to use this lighter blue paper for my background paper. Again, staying away from the white. Super excited that I have made it 5 days already. I did decide to use this really busy background paper with the birthday cakes, and it says happy birthday, and then it also has some other fun birthday items on it as well. Since that paper was going to cover a majority of this blue paper, I did decide to cut it down and then just adhere it back together with the blue paper on the left, and it's a much smaller piece on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, I have a much smaller piece of the pattern paper and then a much larger piece of the blue, but still using that same technique of adhering one piece of paper to the other, using my T-square ruler to measure out 12 inches so that I have a full 12 inches on my background paper. I didn't think about it until later, but I probably could have used one sheet of the blue paper on my background, but I did end up cutting 2 pieces down. I also pulled out this brown paper that has the music notes on it and added it to either side of the white pattern paper in the center. I did feel like it was getting a little lost between those two and I needed some separation. I had these black scraps that were in with the rest of the paper, so I must have used them on another layout. I decided to go ahead and trim them down and use them on the layout. It is really difficult to trim down that small a piece of paper, so I just used multiple sheets to trim them down. And then I'm going to add the 1/4 inch black strip between the white paper and the music note paper. And that 1/4 inch strip, I feel like, makes such a huge impact. You can see it on the left-hand side compared to the right-hand side before I put it down. It just really sets the layout apart. So now that I have the base of the layout down, I'm going to go ahead and pull my photos out. I did pull out these clear plastic pieces from Simple Stories. I'll link them below. I am really enjoying using them because I can really move them around and figure out where exactly I want the photo to be cut at before I actually cut it. So this is one of those purchases that sat in my cart for a long time and I kept taking it out every time I would purchase something, but I'm glad I finally bit the bullet and purchased those. You can see me looking off to the top right-hand side of the screen. My iPad is sitting up there. I have my spreadsheet pulled up that I use to plan out my layouts, and I am so glad that I have that because I would not have remembered where I wanted to put these photos. I had to refer to it several times, trying to figure out exactly the placement of the photos, because these photos could have worked anywhere, but I know that I had a plan for it and I wanted to make sure that I put them back in the way that I originally planned out. I did feel like my photos were getting lost because these photos were taken like early evening. The sun was just about setting, so the sky in the photos is really light. I did decide to matte all of the photos with the black cardstock, and I also really like the way that that popped against that really busy pattern paper as well as the photos themselves, since the sky was so light in these photos. I did have an issue with one of the photos. It just didn't cut right for whatever reason. Even using those layering guides, and I do have a tutorial and I'll link it here for you guys, but even using that, sometimes it doesn't cut straight if I move it over just a little bit or don't line it up straight. So I was struggling a little bit with one of the photos. These photos are of, like I said, my mom's birthday. Every year, the birthday person gets to choose where they want to go for their birthday dinner on Disney property. I am always going to choose a character dining. I feel like I want to hit all of the character dinings, and even being a pass holder for the last 8 years, we still haven't gotten all of them. So that's always going to be my choice. This year, my mom chose Liberty Tree Tavern, which has a like Thanksgiving style food. It's family style, so they bring it out in big plates. It was so funny because they brought out green beans and all of us loved the green beans. You can absolutely ask for more, and you can ask for more of everything, or you can ask for more of certain items. So the second round, we said we wanted some more green beans and some mashed potatoes, and then I think some of the turkey as well. And we went through those second helping of green beans really quickly as well. So then we asked for another helping of green beans, and we were like, we really like them. And the huge plate that they brought out was fantastic. We even killed all of those green beans as well. So now that I have all of the photos backed on that black cardstock, you can see how much of an impact that makes on this layout. Still referring back to my spreadsheet to make sure that I get all of the photos back in the correct placement. I will link a video here on that spreadsheet if you would like to check it out. I'm going to pull out my T-square ruler so that I can make sure that I get each one of these photos down straight, because this definitely is a grid style layout, which is layouts that I love. I feel like you can get a ton of photos on the layout when you're using grid styles. I was able to get 8 photos on this layout. 3 of them are 4x6s, 3 of them are 4x4s, and then 2 of them are 3x4s. And I feel like those are nice size photos, especially to have 8 of them on a double page layout. A majority of these photos were taken by the cast members. We do have the photo pass that is available for purchase at Disney, and we add that as an upgrade to our annual pass, and it is well worth the money because we get a lot of photos taken. I do also have a photo of my mom trying to pull the sword from the stone. I was able to pull the sword from the stone. I do have a layout on that. I will link it here for you guys. And now that I was able to do it, every single time that we are at Disney, we try to pull the sword from the stone. No one else has had the opportunity to pull it, but my mom is always trying, so I had to make sure I included that. And then over on the far right are 2 photos from dinner when Eli was trying to steal my mom's dessert. I did pull out the 6x6 paper pad to cut out 2 of the tags that are going to go over on the far right hand side. I really liked that balloon paper. I felt like it went well with the really busy pattern paper that's over on the left hand side. And then I felt like I needed a red paper to really bring in that contrast. And I like that red paper with the white stars. I then brought out my jute twine and added some to both of the tags. No matter how many times I add jute twine to a tag, I'm never going to get it right on the first time. I always forget which way to add the jute twine in so that it looks the way that I want it to look. I then brought out my glue dots and added them on the background paper so that the jute twine would stay where I wanted it to stay. Over on the left-hand side of the layout, it does call for the title over there. So I started to look through the 3x4 cards, seeing what card I would like. There were several cards that I liked. I felt like they had a lot of the title pieces that I could add. But I ended up with this red polka dotted one because I wanted to bring in the red from the right-hand side of the layout with that tag. And then I'm also going to add another red piece over on the right. So I felt like it would bring in a visual triangle with that red. The card itself says happy birthday in the center, and then around the circle it says may all your wishes come true, enjoy your special day. But I do feel like that's kind of more for cards, but I just went with it. I did put that up on fun foam and added it over to the far left hand side. I then pulled out the embellishment pieces for this collection and started looking through any of the embellishments that I thought might work. I did add this black tag over to the far right that says birthday celebration. I found this other embellishment piece that had a cake on it and I added it behind the tags. And then I did pull out that red tag that says, everybody say cheese, it's your birthday, which I felt was very appropriate for all of these photos of my mom in front of the castle for her birthday. I also found a small little round circle that has a cupcake on it and I added it over to the left-hand side. I did decide to put that birthday celebration up on fun foam and I added it right next to the photo on the left, but I like how it is tied the 2 tags together, and I really think that having that on top of it just brings that together. I did decide to tuck that cake piece behind the tags, and then I added some fun foam to that red tag that says everybody say cheers. Actually, I read that cheese earlier, and it does say cheers. Totally misread that. I did find another black little circle that has the castle, and I really like the way that it looks because it is the blue that's the same color as the background paper, so it almost looks like the castle is cut out of that circle since it is the same color. Over on the far left hand side, I added some balloons because why not have balloons? There's always balloons at Disney. And then I found a sticker cupcake, so I decided to forego the circle piece that had the cupcake on it and added the cupcake sticker instead. I also added a little party hat, and because I decided to add it partly to the card, I put some fun foam behind the top of it. And then I pulled out a bunch of these little party pieces, like streamer type things, and added them to each one of the clusters. I'm just looking through the sticker sheet trying to find different pieces that I can add. I found a circle piece that I tucked behind the tag on the right hand side. And then I started to pull embellishment pieces from my Disney embellishment book. I did pull out my enamel shapes that are in the Mickey head and added those around the layout, one in each one of the clusters. Decided to pull out some more of those streamers and add them to the clusters. Over on the far right, I found a sticker that says happy, so I added that, as well as a little tab that says dream. And then I found this little camera that has a heart on it, and I wanted it to tuck behind the castle, so I did have to pull up that streamer and then add it back down. I also found a star and tucked that behind the red tab. I have so many Disney embellishments in that Disney book that even after completing the layout today this month, I'm not even going to put a dent in the amount of stickers that I have. Over on the far left, I did add a little ticket. I tucked it behind the tag. And I also found this red heart that was like a frame, so the centerpiece was cut out. I really wanted to use those sunglasses, but it just didn't make it to the layout. I did find some star puffy stickers. I had to add some liquid adhesive to the back of that, as well as a tag that says smiles from ear to ear. And I added that right next to the picture of my mom with her dessert, because that is a big old smile that she has on her face. I felt like each one of the clusters needed some puffy stickers, so I added those. And then that is it for this video. Here is my final layout, as well as some close-ups. I did do my journaling offline, and it says, my mom selected Liberty Tree Tavern for her birthday dinner this year. This restaurant honors our founding fathers with its colonial-style ambience and serves traditional New England-inspired cuisines. Eli tried to swipe her Johnny Appleseed warm apple cake, but Mom was not having it. All right, if you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layout inspiration, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.